Hello everyone. So today in this lesson, what we try to do is create a simple chat application. Like basically, we will try to some user input and see what the AI model the returns back to us. So it's a simple. First, we try it without any chat menu. So by chat memory, what I'm saying is like each conversation, what I'm putting text in my request. Uh, so each conversation is an atomic operation. So the next conversation, there won't be any chat information. So it will be like a new window, right? So new window, new context. So, and then we'll try with the chat menu. So where we will retain the information, like the chat, whatever the first conversation was, the question I asked, the second question that I asked, that information would be obliterated, right? So here today we will try to we'll go together. I will try to code it out. So and we'll learn together. Okay. So what I'll do is make a simple chat controller. So I'll explain as I go. So what we'll do first is we have to have this REST controller and request mapping. So let's say we will give an endpoint of the chat. So what we need is one is we'll need a chat client through which we will make the conversation. So we will have this chat client. Then we will need a instructor. So for this chat client, what we need to do is we need a builder. So we will use a builder for this chat client. And for this to initiate, we have to use this builder and builder dot build. So this will create my basic chat client, right? Through which we will make the call. Now let's make another endpoint, public endpoint, right? To so let's keep it as a string. So we just have that conversation. So the response will be a string, and the endpoint may be get response, right? So we'll just have a get response endpoint. So let me map it out first. So let's have it as ask. Yeah, ask. Let's have it as ask. So now what we want to pass is we'll have a request param. So the request param is basically a string where we'll pass this user message, right? The one we type like, hey, I want some help and all those whatever we try to chat to the new model. So here, so it's first is we just try to have a simple like just a simple model. So here what we do is just check line dot the first is prompt. So what we want to like we have to create a prompt. So this will create a prompt to quick. And then what we need is a system, like this is the system prompt that we want to provide. Say suppose like generally we try to do it like we give it a brief context from the system, like what this chat will and underneath what the chat will do, right? So here I'm just keeping it as a you are a helpful assistant, right? So how it works is, so generally when we type in ChatGPT, when we go and type something, that message is basically a user message. And then the response that the chat keeps text to us, that is an assistant message, right? And there are three types of message. So these are the two, and the other one is the system message. So that is basically before the chat begins. So the system, the chat application knows exactly what it is, right? So when we are doing any kind of in Spinny, I would say it's another other way as well, where we try to build a chat application or any kind of work. So we need to put a system of information, right, which will be always consistent for that model, right? So it's like basically to keep some boundaries to it. Like let's suppose I can give a skim message like all your conversation should be in 100 words. It cannot be more than 100 words. So all the time that we converse, so it will always maintain that strict policy. So it's kind of a policy you can say that we already we maintain it. So here, so there is a system message. Then we can have the user message, right? So user message. So this is basically what we pass it from our endpoint. So in the request. So then we will do a call. So this will basically hit our model. So whichever we are using. In this case, we're using our OpenAI model. So and then content. So this will give me the result from the model call. Whatever the result is, it will fetch that from. So this is it. This is the basic code for keeping starting my application for the chat application. Right? So let me quickly go and start it up. And so here we'll also see like the conversation we don't here, as you can see, we are not using in chat memory. So basically we'll not store this information. So this no so it will lose context. So I'll just show you when it starts. Yeah. So let's go. So let's say, so I was just trying before. I just introduce myself. Hi, I'm Debs, right? So here he says, hi Debs, it's nice to meet you. Is there something so now if I ask him, who am I? So ideally it should know, right? Like when we chat in an application, when we do a chat. So this basically, it doesn't know. It doesn't have this information. It is giving me some philosophical, right? So maybe I can even ask, what is my name? Where I introduced Will I introduce myself? So it just says I don't have information to your personal information. It doesn't have, but already I mentioned it. So now we'll see if I introduce a chat model, how it responds back, right? So let me end it up in here. Let's now introduce a chat model, chat memory, sorry. So we'll have a chat memory now. So in the builder as well. So by the way, these are getting instantiated like a string. So we don't need to worry about its instantiations. Injecting is done display. So here, so now what we do is when you're introducing chat memory, so we also need to do is we have to have an advisor. So advisor is basically like basically we want to store it, right? So and what kind of so there are different types. One is a PromptChatMemoryAdvisor, as you can see here, and then is message. There are some more, but today we just work on these two. So prompt check memory and message check memory, like how we want to store this information, right? So for this, we need the help of this advisor, right? So here in the builder, we'll pass on the check model. So through this check model, we want, this is my advisor. So the advisor is this, and I'm using my chat memory. So it will store in this chat memory. It's like going to deploy it here. So now let's go and here let's try to, what do we do? Let's improve it a bit. So here we have to also pass the advisor, right? So here advisor, so advisor, and what we want is so here what we want to also have a conversation ID. So I'll explain it in why we want. So basically we want to store this, like you say, suppose, oh, what is happening? Yeah, conversation ID, and say suppose I'm storing it. So basically what we want is for every conversation that I'm maintaining, so I'll keep a history, like a ID of it. So this conversation, like if you say in a chat GPT, when we go a new chat, we create a new chat, it creates a new conversation ID. So we want to do that one. We want to store this information. Even if we don't put this, it will take our default one. So by default, the conversation ID is default. And if we mention, so basically we can track it via this ideally. So here, so this is it, like we are using this prompt chat memory. I'll explain what is the difference in this and the other one, the message chat memory. So now say let's start this now. So since we have restarted this application now, we start from scratch again. So now let's see, I introduce myself again, and that's so again it says I now if I asking my keyword that's we met just a minute ago. See here, it retains the memory. So it knows like I already talking about it. So it knows about this information. So now if I could come back, so there are two types of advisor. One is regarding this check memory. So one is this prompt check memory and the other is message check memory. So we can use both of them. So on the difference is how the request. So there when the chat client like when we are passing this prompt information and all this, it builds a request chat client request parameter, right? Like the request object. So in that object, what it does is, so when we are using this prompt chat memory, so what it will do is the messages, right? So we have this system message, you are a helpful assistant. And then I said like, hi, I'm Devs. Then the chat assistant replied, like something, yeah, hi, Devs, how are you? And all those. So these are the three information. Then again, subsequent, whatever I'm typing, who am I? So this is the fourth message. So these all comes as a list of messages, right? So these all are a message and it comes as a list. So in prompt in chat memory, what it does is it will extract all these messages. It will take it up. It will form its own up some, we can say, a stream of all these messages, and it will go to the next. Like whenever, like next time I'm hit out again, if I ask something, and again if I make another query, so what it will do is all the previous history, it will take it as a stream and then it will append this. So it will take it as a string and then it will have a prompt. So that prompt will have all this information and then it will ask this question where. So it retains the information in a stringing manner and in a prompt manner, right? In the prompt. And and in case of this message chat memory, what it does is basically, so the entire we mentioned it's as a list of messages, right? So this list of messages is only passed as a is only directly passed. It's not passed as a prompt. So the prompt information is basically this information. We are a helpful so system prompt. Apart from that, it will pass a list of message along with it. So that's the only difference. So it's why it has been done like that. So different like, because we are using OpenAI. So there are other Olama and other frameworks, right? Other Anthropic and all those. So everybody doesn't follow the same way. So some you actually goes by the prompt way, and some actually goes by the list way. So for maintaining both of them, so we're using this both of these are introduced. So now what we will do is, now as we hear the conversation, like we're storing the conversation. So let's see, we can actually check this history, chat memory history, right? So we can see all those. So we'll get a history of it. So it's actually as I mentioned, it's a message. So if you see here, chat messages. So we'll get get history, and we will have a path variable and a stream and everything. And maybe we will have a get mapping here. Get mapping of history and slash, and then we'll pass the ID. So here, so what we will do is this dot check line dot. Okay, so now we want to have this check memory over here because we didn't instantiate it. So what we do is just instantiate this. So we have this ID, we will pass it from whatever is passed from the this. So now let's try and check if we can get the history out of it. Okay, let's go. So here, okay, let's go to start it in. So let's Ali. So we'll just go with simple one. It's nice to meet you. Okay. So now let's go to the history. So let's see for one. So you can see here. So these are the messages. So the information, the chat mod, the chat memory that we introduced. So it is taking this type, then the text, right? The hi. So we have, I'm the user. So user, hi, user is sending hi. The assistant is replying back. So it is having this information. Hi, it's nice to meet you. This is now again. Now if I try with some other one, so it will give me a no, right? So because we are only now if I add something else, how are you? And rewards and also now again if I go and I try eating, so I can see how are you? It's replying me back with this. So we're retaining the history over this. So okay, we'll stop it here today. So we'll go for some other exercise like where we'll talk about some other stuff. We have a lot to cover. So yeah, thank you for now. We'll meet again.